That's the kind of show we're having today, folks. I tell you. Hey, Moses Kuria has come out guns blazing. And he's taking no prisoners on this day. No prisoners. Tweets coming in so thick and so fast. David Waiganjo says, Ati, he can beat Ruto. Do you have a breathalyzer in the studio?
Can we talk about this issue? Do you know how many hours I work, Jeff?
How many hours do you work? I
work 18 hours every day.
Every day?
Every day. Since I went to Parliament.
When do you have time to socialize?
I don't even know where I can start. You know, you are the guy who interviewed me first when I went to Parliament.
Correct.
What did I tell you? Well, it was Jeff.
You said the amount of development you're going to bring to Gatundu.
You will not recognize it.
Yeah.
I still want to take you there.
By the way,
so all these issues of drunkard.
Yes.
And, by the way, I think from some history within our region, when people call you bad names, they are asking for blessings for you. And when people talk about those things, I know I'll be blessed with becoming president of
So when people call you a drunkard or, you know, all those things that they call you.
I don't feel nothing. All I know is that si tuende kwako nyumbani uniambie wewe kama kiongozi umefanya nini. We go, we do a contest. And you know, because you are my one living witness, because I told you where we were within my constituency. Yes. On the day you interviewed me, on that Wednesday, on that bench at Intercontinental.
Correct.
On the 7th of August, 2014.
Wow.
And today, 4 years down the line, if I'm not careful, I can be idle today now.
But the other day, you told my colleague, Kamau Kangede, something to the effect of,
precisely, because I'm tired of this story. Every time, even if I'm coming from church, I am drunk. You see? Yeah. It is not your money, it's not your drink, yes. It's not your bar. Unaingilia wapi?
Speaking of which, Honorable Catherine Wanjiko Warogoro, women's rep from Laikipia, says, Moses Kuria, substantiate your allegations that all women reps are drunkards.
Did I say that even?
And loose characters.
Someone is misquoting me. I have not even left the studio. On a show that will be put online.
Yes.
I think there's a time the speaker wanted to give us some skills on digital and online, and I think it's overdue, so that the likes of my very good Waluguru can be taught how to, you know, how to Google for some of these things.
Yeah, and not misquote.
And not misquote. How can you start lying about something that will be put online? And Kenyans are still watching. Kenya.
Your good friend Francis Atwoli.
Oh.
He says, yes, Moses Kuria has been my friend for a very long time.
The man from Kwesero himself. Good man he is.
And I asked him once about you, by the way.
Yeah.
I threw your name in there, and he says, very good man. Very good man.
Atwoli is a very close friend of mine. Very, very close of mine. I don't know if you ever have visited his ranch.
No, he keeps inviting me.
No, you talk about Al Hasieda and Neverland Ranch. You've never seen
in Kitengela
like that in Kitengela.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah?
And when the big hour comes in this country,
yes.
And I want to get some clarity about some things, I always visit Atwoli to get some. I may not agree with everything he says. I remember one time I took Eugene Wamalwa when I had this notion that Eugene Wamalwa should be the governor of Nairobi. And I went to Atwoli, and Atwoli almost whipped us. Said, how can you remove Eugene from cabinet? He's our bridge to the president as lawyers. And when I look back, I was reminding Eugene the other day and told him, you know what, we were wrong. And Francis Atwoli was right. So, you know, he's a good man.
So he's wise old counsel.
Exactly. Of course, sometimes he gets some illusional projects like the one he goes to anoint people there. But that's his politics, just like I have mine, but he's a friend of mine, and I do also. Again, I remember a friend of mine called Professor Kisiangani. One time he attacked Atwoli, and I went on a TV show and I asked him, do you think Atwoli has been the leader of the labor movement for decades because he's stupid? So simply because someone does not speak English, your style, does not make them stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Dennis Itumbi. He says, Moses Kuria has been a communication guy longer than he has been a politician. Glad to have known him and worked with him too. Great guy. Just one question. If he becomes president, will he appoint me as his chief of staff?
I would say Dennis Itumbi is in the middle of a contract from the Jubilee government. And the reasonable thing to do is for him to deliver on the current contract before thinking of the future one. Because, of course, I look at his CV. What did you do when you were director of digital? So don't worry about your future job. If you do your current job well, we may just consider.
But maybe he's just hedging his bets here, you know? He says, I put a bit here, a bit there, and hopefully I'll reap.
You know things Dennis and I have done in this country. They only be declassified after 30 years. So let me not go there. You know those colonial type secrets?
Yes.
Which are only declassified after 30 years.
Correct, 30 years plus.
So one day I think, but he's promised me that I'll have a whole chapter in his book. So I hope he keeps his word. And if you can't keep your word,
yeah,
about a chapter in a book,
yeah,
how can I trust you with a job? So I'm still waiting to see Dennis Itumbi's book, looking forward, and encouraging him to write. And, you know, I wrote mine.
Yes.
2017.
How's it doing?
Well, it was a collection of my articles that, you know, I've been the longest running opinion writer in Kenya. Started in 1992.
How many years?
25 years of writing. 25 years of writing. Yeah. So after 25 years, I published all those articles into a book. And you know the beautiful thing about it is because you cannot fake what you wrote that time.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is a true reflection of your raw thoughts at that particular time.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, let's talk about your relationship with your governor in Kiambu. And we'll come to your development record in Gatundu South in a moment. But your relationship with your governor.
I don't have a problem with my governor.
You seem to.
Let me do something, Jeff. 2014, when I came to Parliament, I came through a by-election. And the former governor, he really fought me.
Kabogo.
Yeah. He really, I had many reasons to go in and fight him. And when I went to Parliament, I found people fighting Kabogo. The MPs were there, Alice Nganga, Ichungwa, Jul Jomo.
Yeah.
And I made a deliberate decision. And I called Kabogo and I told him, you know what, Governor? You are welcome to join me in my constituency anytime. I will not fight you because you are not my agenda. If I would love to fight you, but I just don't have the time. The little time I have, because I've come in the middle of the term, is to catch up matters of development. And so therefore, I would wake up and ministers and CEOs of state corporations, they would find me waiting for them by their doors at 6 a.m. in the morning. Be it Kenya Power looking for electricity for my people. Be it like former CS Michael Kamau for roads. Michael Kamau would find me on his doorstep.
At 6 a.m.
Be it for Adi Water, for example, looking for projects for water. Be it Belio Kipsang. One time, the former CEO of Kenya Power, he asked me, he followed me by the stores in South B, Kenya Power stores, looking for some parts required for electrification. And he said, what are you doing here? I told him, I cannot trust anyone because it's so important for me. Resorts, today everybody in my constituency has got electricity. These things are not for the lazy and the faint-hearted.
But you might be too much of a control freak if you become president.
No.
You're a micromanager. It
was important for the first 3 years. Then you let the systems run. Today, I go to my constituency because I've missed them. Yeah?
Okay.
I miss my people.
Yeah.
But systems are running. Nothing stops.
But, okay, so you have no problem with Waititu?
I have no problem with Waititu. But you know, Waititu did attack me the other day.
Yes.
With Wamushomba.
Yes.
In a very unorthodox manner. As a good Christian, I have forgiven them. Because sometimes people fight you for when they see you, they are reminded of who they are not. So I cannot begrudge them.
Tell me something. Was your brother fired as chief officer by Waititu after your December remarks? Was he fired by him?
I don't want to get into that, Jeff. You know, for one reason. My brother, the last I checked, did work for Waititu's government. On the day that there was a problem, this issue, that first week,
yes,
he got a letter sending him on forced leave. I don't even know whether it is ended or not ended or whatever it is. But I don't want to comment on that because that's an issue between an employer and an employee. What I do know is that in the county of Kiambu, if you get a letter to go on leave, do the wise thing to do. Pack and go. It's a euphemism for firing. So it happened to Dr. Toro
Yep.
the former CEO for health.
Correct.
Yeah, his boss, yeah, who was a CEC for health. Mugwe, who was CEC for infrastructure. Yeah. And so I can go on and on and on and on and on. So, but what happens in Gatundu South is my business.
Yeah, but
what Tito does with his government is his business. I
okay,
cannot
but
begrudge him.
You don't take it personally?
No, not at all.
You don't think it was politics?
No. And you know, if I think that way, then it will appear like my brother, like I'm supposed to take a position for the interest of my brother. And he's above 18. And you know, even in an aircraft, tunaambiwa, attend to yourself first before attending to others. So my brother is a grown-up. He's an adult. Yeah. He had a contract with the county. If I cannot micromanage that relationship, in any case, it will put me in a very precarious situation. Because I would have to say everything I want to say about Kiambu County. I have to watch my back about this. Yes. And you know very well that's not who I am. Sure,
but then maybe he was a victim of collateral damage, which you said had repercussions.
Well, let's not get into that. What I will say is that Kiambu people are not going to judge Governor Tito by what he does to my brother. They're going to judge him by the work on the ground or lack of it. So I don't want to, if he has got a destiny with the people of Kiambu, let me not be a catalyst or to help him. Yeah. I refuse to be of help.
But you seem pissed off with him.
I am not pissed off with Waitito. Remember, all members of parliament from Kiambu are part of this so-called United for Kiambu. Yeah? Except me. Yeah? Except me and very few members. I refuse to board that one. I simply focus on my seat and getting votes for President Kenyatta. Yeah. I refuse to board that one. I refuse to get involved in that kind of the politics of Kiambu. I still do refuse now.
Okay.
But my Gatundu, I guard it seriously. Of course, as a presidential candidate, 1.2 million votes is very important for the Kiambu votes, 1.2 million registered. Yep. So I'll be keeping an eye there. But how I comment on Kiambu issues is not different from how I comment on the stalled projects of Nyeri.
I asked you this before and I have to ask it again. Just for the record, would you not want that job first? As a springboard to the presidency, run for Kiambu governor.
Did who run for Kiambu governor? Did he have a choice?
No.
Why didn't you tell him to run for Kiambu governor first? Did Raila run for governor of Siaya? Did Kalonzo run for governor of Kitui? Let us have Premier League and League in Dogo. Separate. You look at the guys who have gone straight there. Look at their caliber. Look at me. Look at Waitito. And, you know, put round pegs in round holes and square pegs in square holes.
Okay. Your Super 5.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, do you think there'll be a referendum?
I believe there should be a referendum. But the referendum I want to see, Jeff, and this is very important, I want to see a non-contested referendum.
What everybody agrees?
You know, we agree first, and we have mechanisms. You see, like the committee I formed, I proposed in Parliament.
Yes, for Matiang'i.
For Matiang'i, yes, is a good one now also to say, how are we going to support Big Four? And how are we also going, how can we start exchanging thoughts? I want to look at people, I want to look at Rosa Buyu, the women for Kisumu who are suggested in that committee, and tell her, you know what, I think if me and you agree on this thing, the people of Gatundu and the people of Kisumu are most likely to, not guaranteed, but most likely to agree. Okay. Or at least we create a zero draft. Yeah. Or a beginning point.
What would that question be, in your opinion, that everyone agrees on?
You know, even what to agree is what you can agree within that sort of bipartisan exchange. Come on, we don't have another country. And by the way, we have got many problems as a country. But you just walk around the region. I don't want to be like Moi used to say that Kenya is an island of peace in a region of turmoil. But still, we are not doing that badly as a country. And I refuse to give in to pessimism or to believe that our problems are insurmountable. These are things we can be able to resolve, Jeff. And I'm saying this with all humility. If we now dress down our negativity, we dress down our believing that it cannot happen, and we dress down our believing that it's somebody else to solve it, not us, or another generation, not this generation. We can do these things. So we create structures. Sadly, I think BBI is a very good beginning. I think the president and the prime minister did a good thing, but you need to come to the actual troublemakers.
Yeah.
And the actual troublemakers are the active politicians. And let us sit. Let us do our part. Let us try to narrow these gaps. Yeah? Because we don't have any other country. And time is moving. So it's not a question of if it should happen. It is whether it should happen, how it should happen. Whether it should happen, I'm totally convinced it should happen. Because I've told you, I don't want Raila Odinga Jr. and Brian Kuria, my son, to take over the mantle of fighting each other the way we have done with his father. Right. I am tired of that. Yeah? So let us sit down. We really, even if we don't agree 100%, at least we will have known. Before we waste Wanjiko's time, we will have known these are the gaps. This is where we are. And all these things. And by the way, if we do that, you will find people even coming to download their fears. A lot of people refuse this because of fears. I'll give you an example. For a long time, I was part of the team that was defining the position of then PNU, then NAC, yeah? On the constitution. One thing we had morbid fear as Kikuyus was devolution. Because we believe devolution is equal to Majimboism. Now we are happy with our counties. We can see something happening and these resources trickling down. Not the way we would want, but a good start or the same. Yeah. So we were fearing something because of, ungrounded reasons. Some of the people who are fearing even this expansion of the executive are fearing it because of maybe things, this one won't karanga me. So let's create an environment whereby we put Kenya first. And we tell everybody, please come and deposit your fears. We come and have a situation of now, let's look at your fear one by one, mind this one. So we enrich this particular process. And some people are also saying, oh, you're adding positions for people.
Right. But
I don't know for who. You don't know who will be prime minister. So it's for who? Even you, once you create the positions, vie for them. Because under the Super 5, create your own 5.
But they'll be all under your umbrella?
Umbrella. Nothing at if you lose the elections, you are given a position. The only position you get if you lose elections, and I agree with what Williams said in Chatham House, is you become leader of opposition. And the other guy becomes deputy leader of opposition. So I think we are quite close. And I think it was very refreshing for me to have William Ruto take his position. I want everybody to set their positions so that you can be able to come together and create a hybrid of all those and get what is good for the country. But the first beginning point is do not fear changing. Yeah, because, we have to create things our way. I was part of this Katiba. I was in Naivasha as a part of the backroom that made this Katiba. Yeah. And at that time, if you could have dared to say something about some of these clauses, oh, you are anti-reform. In fact, the people who are saying here, we change. I don't want to name names because I don't want to go to pre-handshake manenos. And the same people who are saying, oh, you are anti-reform, you are a demagogue. So it was very difficult to change some of these things.
And now it's getting easier?
Now I think it's getting easier, and I think the season of madness is coming to an end. So I think we are in such an environment where we can be able to now see. Yeah? Let me ask you, and women think I want to demolish women's possession. I asked them in 2010, I remember I asked my good elder sister Beth Mogo and Charity Ngiru and Mother Karua, who were there in Naivasha at that time, ask them, ladies, how do you want a woman to start from Kijabi? That is the border of Kiambu and Nakuru County, all the way to Kirimambogo. And to come to parliament, they have the same vote with me, the same salary with me, same expectation. So I warned them about this position. I told them, let's look for an alternative mechanism. Sema hapana, nyinyi mnataka kukaranga wanawake. So, we were clenching our fists when we made that constitution. Yeah. We had come from a very troubled, tormenting period in our country. Yeah. So everybody was suspicious of the other. So we didn't make this constitution in good faith. And even now, if we try not to make it with good faith, let's not even do it at all.
Right.
If there's suspicion. Because at that time people said, even people, for example, persons with disabilities, they wanted something. Yeah. People from civil society wanted something. Everybody wanted something. So we don't have a constitution. We have a ceasefire document. We were in a state of war.
Ceasefire document. Yeah. That's all we have.
Yes.
And you want to be president of this ceasefire?
No, I really want to use this first of all.
More tweets. Simba Hashim says, Moses Kuria is not serious. He is just a clown, the biggest clown in town. But I like him. Whatever he smokes, I really want some of it.
Idiot.
One word answer. Kennedy Jarongo says, Honorable Kuria hadn't the slightest clue what competitive politics entails. He got into parliament unopposed and is now full of himself, thinking that presidential polls are a walk in the park. Who advises this guy?
You know, if this Kennedy guy could have believed in himself, he would have known he's even material for a school captain. Just not believing in himself. And all I'm doing is believing in myself. The guy lost his chance.
Nelson Dongo, what is the one thing that makes you feel you should be on the presidential ballot in 2022? Why you and not WSR?
Let's talk about that, Jeff. Because I'll fix this economy better than anyone. I understand this economy. And I understand this economy from a macroeconomic perspective and from a micro. From a macro, that's why you have seen me pushing that bill of allowing negotiation with the interest rates, because I know what it takes to drive an economy and to activate an economy and to give it some energy. And that's what I'm going to do. And again, also from the bottom of the pyramid. I am working with our traders and those people who are really going through a bad patch and unrealistic, you know, like we have an association called the Importers and Small Traders Association, who are really going through a bad patch, and we really want to advocate for a business environment which makes even that man, even that trader there in Nyamakima or Mudurwa or Gekomba to be as important as EABL and Safaricom and all those other corporates. So I think it's, as in America they say, the main difference is the economy stupid.
Correct, it's the economy stupid. Do you think we're too much in debt, our 5-6 trillion shillings? Are we heavy in debt?
I think we're heading there. We may not be there, but we're heading there. But I'm not worried about the quantum of the debt. There's nothing wrong with 5.6 trillion. As an economist, I'll tell you, our biggest problem is what we call tenure, the period for repaying the loan. When Kibaki left, the average loan for sovereign loan for Kenya was 10 years. If you take all the basket and you divide, now we are down to 4 years. Wow. So you are borrowing today, before even you have gotten a return from that money, you started paying back.
Wow.
And I've expressed, I'm a member of the budget committee, I've expressed this to Treasury. So we need to do something. So last week we were in Mombasa with Treasury, and I did ask my good friend P.S. Duge, how is this sustainable that Kibaki left us with 10 years average tenure of borrowing, and you've taken us down to 4? Because what happens is, when the 4 or 5 years mature, then you now go back to markets to
borrow more.
Not to borrow more, but to negotiate for longer to recycle. So why can't we get it right first time, so that we can have some breathing space? Yeah? Good
point, good point. Arthur Gashogi, Moses Kuria is the watermelon of central Kenya. Today he is supporting Raila, tomorrow Uhuru, the next day Ruto. Now he wants to run. Moses Kuria seems like a president who would shut down the government when president.
I've just come of age.
Simple answer. I've just come of age. Wow. Kayoff won. How is Moses Kuria gunning for the top seat, yet he hasn't gone to see Mzee in Kabarak like his competitors?
But I'm planning to go to the Vatican for pilgrimage. I'm a Catholic. That's where we should go.
Are you Catholic?
Yes, I am. I was an altar boy, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Have you been to the Vatican?
I'm planning to, not Kabarak.
Pope Francis is a cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Oh. Last tweet. Weldon says, Moses Kuria is Ruto's man. As much as he is a man of his own rules and squad, we read this before. He is surely a strong supporter. Yeah, we read this before. All right.
We agree it's not true.
We dealt with Weldon.
Yeah.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, you get the last word. Your people are listening to you. You want to run for president?
Yes, I want to run for president.
Go on.
I'm telling, first of all, my message to the people of Gatundu South. You are going to be the final say in this one, because only you can give testimony of where I got you from and where we are now, and the journey we are going to complete over the next 3.5 years. And all I want to do is to replicate that over the country. And to my naysayers, I will just prove you wrong. Call me whatever you want, but I will be there. And to all my supporters across the country, keep believing in me. We will do this. Yes, Kenya will do this. We will do this.
Whatever happened to your mzigo thing, you know, punguza mzigo?
Isn't that now what everybody is saying? In fact, that's a success of what I'm saying, because now people are saying we don't want to nominate this and nominate that.
Yeah.
You cannot run this thing as a one-man something. But now that Ekuru is saying it, Musalia is saying it, everybody is saying it, you can bet one thing, I can bet my one cow that this referendum will have Punguza Mzigo as predominant thing. Scrap all the MCAs who are nominated, scrap nominated senators, reduce nominated MPs from 12 to 9, and women rep, give them affirmative fund within the parties, but not special seat for them.
Affirmative fund.
We have got the political parties fund.
Yep.
30% of that money should go to women to support them as candidates so that they can compete with men.
Did you just say you have one cow?
Well, yes. It's called Guno.
Guno.
Yeah.
And what's your P.O. box again that your father?
237 Gatundu. You can.
That's what you inherited from your father.
Yeah.
Humphrey Minor from Gatundu South is asking, or Gatundu North actually, he's asking, would you support Kabogo as if he came back as governor of Kiambu? Would you support Kabogo?
It is not for me, it is for Kiambu people. They'll make that choice. No, really.
You're a voter?
They are on my mind, but you know I'm a presidential candidate. I have to be very careful with my word, you know.
Wow. Moses Kuria, in his own words. Washima, good to see you.
Good to see you, Jeff.
And happy birthday in advance.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And happy Valentine's tomorrow.
Jazz. Yes.
You can't make this stuff up. Moses Kuria, calling it like he sees it without fear of favor, shooting from all cylinders. This is the kind of debate you can only have right here on Jeff Kinangi Live. Nowhere else. Right here.
What happened to Tony?
Tony who?
Tony the Shocker, the Shocker.
We'll see you back here tomorrow on Hot 96 with Professor Hamo from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the hottest breakfast show in all of Africa, and every Wednesday. Remember those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKLIVE, right here on Citizen Television, is the place to be. Thanks so much for being a part of this show, folks. Good night, good luck, and God bless the people of Gatundu South and North and their future presidential candidate.